Let's practice using percents. Collins Middle School has 266 sixth grade students. If the sixth grade is 35% of the total school, how many students are in the middle school? Okay, so Collins Middle School has 266 students, and that's 35% of the total. So when I come across this, the first thing I'm going to do, because I like to use this method, when looking at percentages, I like to use a double number line because percentages are always out of 100. Okay, so that's what I'm going to set up first. Double number line here. So I have 0%. So here's my percentage. And this is students. The number of students, that would be 0 students. So at the very end, I know that I'm going to want to get all the way to 100% because that's what it's asking. What's the total number? 100%. And I'm solving for this. So I know that 35% is 266 students. I know that there's nothing I can do to 35 to easily get me to get to 100. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I know that percentages, 5s and 10s, are easy to make into hundreds. And I know that 35% can't be divided to get down to 10%, but it can be divided to get down to 5%. So I'm going to go all the way down to 5%, and I'm going to say 35 divided by 7 is going to get me 5. So I'm also going to divide 266 by 7. Same thing, division here, division here. Again, you're going to have to do some dividing. So 266 divided by 7. 7 goes into 2 0 times, the 26 3 times. 7 goes into 56 8 times. That means 5% of the students is 38 students. So now that I know that I have 5%, I can easily get from 5% back to 100% through a multiplication of 20. So 5 times 20 is 100. Now I'm going to take my number of students, 38, and I'm going to multiply that by 20 as well. Again, showing my work, 38 times 20 is 760. So 100% of the students will be 760 students total. Again, there are lots of ways to solve for percentages. Double number lines are a great way to show this. It keeps it organized. You can make sure that you can follow the progression as it goes through. And if you're asked to find for multiple percentages, this is going to be a great way to visually do it as well. Betty sold 24 out of the 80 quilts she made. What percent of her quilts did Betty sell? Okay, so Betty is selling quilts, and we know that she's selling 24 out of the 80 total, and we're finding for the percentage. So again, I'm going to use a double number line. There are multiple ways you can do this. This is the way I prefer to use. If you're wanting a different way, you can ask a question. Go ahead and email me, and then I can post a different way if you'd like to see. So here's another double number line. 24 out of 80. So I'm going to have one number line that's going to be Q for quilts, and one number line that's going to be the percent symbol for percentages. So I know if she made 80 of them, that is 100%. And if she made 0 quilts, that's going to be 0%. So I know that I've got to get to 24. And when I'm thinking of 24, I also have to think of the percentage. So one way to go do this is to go and find groupings of percentages. So 50%, 25%, those are kind of things you can do in your head. I personally like to go down to 10% first. If 50% isn't close to the answer I'm looking for. Remember, I'm looking for out of 24. And we know if it was 50%, that would be 40. So I'm going to be substantially lower than 40. So I'm going to go down to 10%. That means it's going to be a division of 10. A division of 10 will get me 10%. That means a division of 10 by 80 will get me 8. So that means for every 10%, I'm going to make 8 quilts, or 8 quilts is 10% of her total. I know now, okay, I have to go up to 24. So if you know your multiplication facts, in other words, you know your multiples of 8, 8 can easily go into 24. So I know I can move all the way up to 24 through a multiplication of 3. That means if I multiply 8 by 3, I'm going to multiply my 10% by 3 as well, which is then 30%. So if she makes 24 quilts, that's 30% of the total that she needs. Double number line, great way to keep yourself organized. Again, if you're needing additional ways to show this, go ahead and send me an email, and I would be happy to show you a different way.